Oh, that's very, very hot. Like the space shuttle rockets. Oh.
Bring it all the way through.
Yeah, still got it. Woo! What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max, and today we are here with an awesome Lamborghini Aventador S. And again, we're here with a supercar from Buena Vida Supercar Rentals. And it's actually the same color as this Deutsche Post car. Very nice, cool combo. So yeah, it's another supercar by Buena Vida Supercar Rentals. We've done the Ferrari FF, the Huracan Evo, the Murcielago. Now it's time for the Aventador S in Giallo Orion. Absolutely gorgeous with the new Aventador S wheels. This spec is out of this world. Get it? Orion? Orion's belt, out of this world? Yeah, still got it. We've got an awesome carbon fiber exterior package. I'll show you all the stuff on this car and then we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to receive updates when we upload. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I think that's a Huracan. Very cool. Yeah, so let's begin with the review and we'll start with a walk around because it is such a gorgeous car, this. The Aventador, and especially the Aventador S, because a lot has changed and you wouldn't notice it when you see it just standing around, but when you see them next to each other, you can see that they made the Aventador S much more aggressive, especially that front end, much more aggressive. This front splitter, more pronounced. Carbon fiber as well, absolutely gorgeous. As I said, those new wheels, we've got Pirelli P0s specific for this car. The carbon ceramic brakes are as standard on the Aventador S as well. It also has four-wheel steering, which is new for the Aventador, and well, these wheels are actually quite large. They are 355, 21 inch, absolutely gorgeous. But check out that rear tire. That is some rubber, massive. And they also added this sort of Countach-like air intake, which is also the #1 reason for the power increase for the Aventador S. So the Aventador had 700 horsepower, the Aventador S has 740, and that's mainly because of a new intake and of course some ECU tweaks to get a little bit more power from that V12. Speaking of, we've got, this car actually has the bigger carbon fiber package, so with the entire engine and also the big crossbar. Oh, that's very, very hot. And that massive V12. Of course, you guys have seen the review of Jeroen and his Aventador S. Super cool to see his perspective of his own car as a Lamborghini test driver, development driver, racing driver. So I'm not going to embarrass myself too much today by pretending I know a lot about this car, because he knows a lot about this car. And of course he went in depth with this car. But I'm going to highlight a couple of things. Well, mainly one thing I think is absolutely awesome, besides that crossbar in carbon fiber, is this inboard pushrod suspension. I just think that looks so freaking awesome, and it also gives away a little bit of the engineering that went into this car. It's not just for show, this Aventador S, and the Aventador S even more than the Aventador. This is also all carbon fiber. Jesus, that's really beautiful. An active rear wing as well, very, very cool. Carbon fiber diffuser, and we've got a new exhaust. So this exhaust, which has been modeled a bit like the space shuttle rockets, like these three things within one thing, it's actually 20% lighter than the Aventador's exhaust, and it also produces a much better sound. I mean, the Aventador also sounded really good, but the Aventador S is just next level. Yeah, it is a thing of beauty, this. It doesn't have the same like stance and attention drawing that the Murcielago has, even though it is yellow with carbon fiber. I think the Murcielago still beats it if you look at road presence, but this is more spectacular. This is more like exotic. Yeah, they know how to design a car over at Lamborghini. Oh, this is also beautiful. Carbon fiber. Beautiful fuel filler cap. Yeah, I could walk around this car for quite some time, but we're going to get in with the Lamborghini doors, of course. Beautiful Aventador, black on the sill. Now, I'm going to start it up. And I have to get my position right, because as you can see, function follows form at Lamborghini. So that windshield is super cool because it is so slated, because that angle is so small. But it also means that you have a very narrow window, and I am quite tall, so I have to get this right. I have to scooch down a little bit, get that seat all the way back, and I think this should be okay. So I already mentioned that four-wheel steering, which is new. It also has the LDVA system, which we also had in the Huracan Evo, and that just means that everything works together. It has a big ECU which controls everything, so everything that has to do with the vehicle dynamics. Now, they added the Ego mode. That's new for the Aventador S, which is basically an individual mode. So you have Strada, which is road, sport, Corsa, race. Ego means I or me. So there you can select, for example, your suspension in bumpy road mode, so like Strada, and your drivetrain in Corsa, which is great that you can do that now, because that was a big criticism of the last Aventador, that it was either full on or not. Now you can combine them. Okay, scooch down. I hope this angle is okay for you guys. It's a little bit of guessing because it's so freaking small. Okay, so put the gearbox in first gear and we'll start in Strada. I don't actually know how to get it in automatic mode, but we'll see. But you can... No, this is manual. Strada. There it is, automatic. So, this is automatic, and the shifts are so freaking slow. It's pretty ridiculous. This is a single clutch manual gearbox that you operate through these pedals. So it's like an old school gearbox. And back in 2011, when the first Aventador came, we said, okay, well, we'll accept it. It's a little bit old school, but it's also kind of cool because you get those big hits on the upshifts. So yeah, okay. But now, you know, 2017, this Aventador S came out. It's really slow, and it lurches on the upshift if you have it in automatic mode. So it is probably the only thing I can think of that lets me down a little bit in this car. So now let's turn down the AC a little bit. And we'll put the car in Corsa mode for a little bit more AutoTopNL driving. And still, if you don't floor it, you have that pause in the gear shift. So if you shift like at lower RPMs, it will take its time. But if you floor it and shift at high RPM, it gives you this big ass kick in your back, and it is very entertaining. And what I just said about it being a little bit old is just if you drive it every day. I can imagine that would get a little bit old. You would get fed up with that. But for driving it like this, it is an absolute riot. Oh! Listen to that. It is so freaking aggressive. It's an absolute beast of a car, and of course you've got that V12 right behind you, so it is a lot of fun, and you can definitely feel that this is, you know, the bigger, more explosive and extreme version or brother of the Lamborghini Huracan, which is a little bit more polished and a little bit more like a car. This is more like driving a friggin' rocket compared to a Huracan. So that four-wheel steering in these corners means that the rear wheels steer against the front wheels, which give you the idea that you have a much shorter wheelbase. In fact, Lamborghini says that at lower speeds below 100 kilometers an hour, when the rear wheels steer against the front wheels, that it simulates a wheelbase that is 50 centimeters shorter than it actually is. So that's a lot. And if you drive over 120, something like that, the rear wheels steer with the front wheels and the wheelbase increases by 70 centimeters. So you get a lot more stable cornering at high speeds. It's genius. We've seen it before, but apparently it makes a big difference with the Aventador, because it's a big ass car, or I should say it feels big. It's very wide and it's very heavy, like 1700 kilos, so it could use a little bit of tweaking for the suspension and the steering, and they have done a really good job. It's also super nice to drive this naturally aspirated V12 engine, because it's one of the few left, and it actually doesn't feel that fast if you're like at 3,000, 4,000 RPM. It's when you get this thing going, between 6,000 and 8,000 RPM, this thing is freaking fast and powerful. It's so much fun, and the fact that you just have to keep revving it out to get the most from it is just something that will never get old. Well, it has technically gotten old now, but it is still the best. That's what I meant.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, at the unrestricted Autobahn. I'm going to get this speedo cam going for you guys for a better view. Now, Lamborghini says that this Aventador S will do over 350 kilometers an hour. So we're going to see what we can do right now, because it is quite busy, unfortunately, so we'll see. But it's mainly about that V12, letting it sing and seeing how this car feels at high speeds. So we're going to let that van overtake, and then full throttle. Oh, listen to that little rev limiter. We have to shift ourselves in Corsa mode. Oh, that was already 270. It's a very quick car. Oh my God. Why today? That those kick shifts add to the experience. Bring it all the way through 8,600 RPM, and then that gear shift that bangs you to the next one, and that's 329. cars here, so we have to slow down. But that is absolutely no problem for this car. Holy moly, that is impressive. Oh, you just feel that when you have it like between 6 and 8, as I said, that is when the rate of acceleration is seriously explosive and impressive. Oh, little bumps. Oh, some more bumps here. Speedo go, and this is not as enthusiastic a speedo as the Lamborghini Huracan, which is, well, it's it does exaggerate a little bit, let's say that, but this doesn't. This is much more accurate. Here we go. It almost feels like the acceleration increases the faster you go. Those carbon ceramics doing their job nicely. Slowing it down. You do feel though that you have a super light front end and you have that big ass V12 behind you, so you do feel that weight. What a glorious V12. It's actually not bad over those bumps, because this is a super low car, and in Corsa it's quite firm, but it's not upset by them. You do feel them, of course, but it's not upset by them, which is a really assuring thing. And that's the border. Whoo! Yes! What a car. You do feel that it is not the most stable car at that speed. You do feel that light front end moving around a little bit, but man, what an impressive car. I absolutely love the Aventador S. Stamp of approval. So if you want to rent a supercar yourself, go check out Buena Vida Supercar Rental, and if you mention us, AutoTopNL, you get a 10% discount. So go check it out. You can subscribe by clicking the big button right here. You can also check out this video or go check out this playlist. See you at the next one. Bye.